Can you hear me, people? Is there any noise? No, right? Thank you so much. Good morning once again. I'm Vaishnavi, your facilitator for today's session. This being a very small, intimate group, I'd like to request you all to turn on your cameras if possible, so that we'll have a lot of meaningful discussions and conversations that would help us understand this concept of personal branding better and learn from each other's perspectives. So if you all could turn on your cameras, that would be great. Also, if you can have a notepad or something to scribble on handy, because we have a lot of self-reflection exercises where you will be asked to think through and come up with certain options to explore what is your personality and how could you put that forth as a brand statement. So if you could have something handy to write, that would be nice. All right. I'll start sharing my screen. Shanti, if you could let me share my screen. Thanks. I'm assuming most of you are attending this Lean in Circle session for the first time. Yes. Anybody who has attended the previous session where we discussed on the X factor? Yeah, Shanti is very much here. She facilitated the session. I think Vaishnavi is also here. You were there, isn't it, Shanti? Surya, I think you're trying to tell me something. I can't hear you though.
No, I did try to attend it a couple of times. First of all, thank you for moving it to a Saturday, because during a working day it was just not possible to attend it because of different meetings and the commitments. But I'm glad that it's on a Saturday now. Hopefully, I would be more frequent into these conversations going forward.
Lovely. Lovely. Thank you, Shweta. Yes, we totally understand that it's very difficult and challenging for people to take time out on a weekday. So we thought, let's try and see if this time and day of the week is suitable for most of the participants. So last time when we started with personal branding, we discussed about the X factor. We'll anyways quickly recap on what we did on the previous session so that the flow is going to be more meaningful and logical. Before that, a quick introduction about myself. I'm Vaishnavi Prasad, a learning and development professional for the last 11 plus years. Currently, I'm associated with Grow with Satori as learning partner. I am also a National Eligibility Test Junior Research Fellowship Qualified Assistant Professor. I have handled management subjects for postgraduate management students. As an active member of Toastmasters International, a public speaking forum, I've won numerous awards, including being adjudged as one of the top 6 impromptu speakers of the district last year. I have always been interested in how words can impact people, and I've contributed to various academic journals as well as commercial websites as a content writer. Talk about my interest out of work. I love dance and I'm a passionate Bharatanatyam dancer. So now that I've told you about myself, if we could know each other better, that would really be helpful in going forward with this particular session. So if you all could quickly introduce yourself by telling us your name, your role, and maybe one word that describes you the best. Anyone who would like to start?
I think I can go first.
Yes, Akanksha.
Hi.
I'm pronouncing your name correctly.
You are, yes. It is Akanksha. So my name is Akanksha Vajpayee. I'm from Hyderabad, and this is the first session that I'm attending. That too because it's on a weekend and I do not have a class this weekend. Otherwise, usually I'm busy with the IM course that I'm completing, and I have my convocation next week. So that's something that I'm really excited about. Talking about my work, I've got about 15 years of experience in the talent space, both management and development. Currently working with an organization called On Passive in Hyderabad, working with the CEO's office in strategy and change management. And one word I think that describes me the best is dependable.
Lovely. Thank you so much,
Thank
Akanksha.
you.
Anybody else would like to go next?
Yeah, I could go next. Hi, my name is Surya, and I have, I was listening to Akanksha, so very similar. I have been in the talent and OD and L&D space for almost about 14 years now. And currently I'm working with Oracle. And so again, in the same space where I'm working in the L&D and OD space, working with the stakeholders, internal stakeholders to ensure that the change management projects and the other OD projects are aligned to the business outcomes. Um, Having said this, I am also about to apply for my ICF ACC. It's been some time. Yeah, I know, Shanti, you have been, talking about it, and you are in that space of coaching for a very long time. I look up to your conversations on that as well. And I hopefully in a month or two, I would be putting up my application. It's been some time that I have completed it, but I think for various reasons that I have not been able to apply for that membership, which takes a lot of time, of course. And I was looking for some financial aid as well, which was not coming through. I think that was another reason that it got delayed. But I think hopefully I'm keeping my fingers crossed that definitely this year I would be able to kind of go ahead and complete it. So looking forward to interacting with this group. Mostly I would have to be, with my camera off, because I would try to, complete a couple of other things at home. Right now it's morning, and there is some other work that's coming up that I will have to do. So I'll try to keep my camera on and off in between, but I would be listening to it intently. And Akanksha, I would be willing to understand from you later on, maybe what is that you're doing from IIM, and if we can just, if I could understand if it is helping you, not helping you, because I was trying to explore some of the courses from IIM.
I think it did help me right away, because before completing the course, I was able to switch into a different role completely. So
Okay.
that's one huge help that has happened.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I would definitely like to connect with you offline on this and understand that. What have you taken up? What have you, kind of how it has in fact helped you?
So,
and these are some lovely conversations we should have in our WhatsApp group. I think our WhatsApp group is only about me telling everybody what programs are coming up. We are not engaging in conversations. Let me see what we can do to get people engaged in conversations, sharing their successes, their learnings. I think that will be so much more meaningful than, we just talking about this program attend, this program attend. I think it needs to be far more meaningful. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. And Shanti, it would be, I would be happy to, have some of the conversations, share some of my experiences in these meetings as well, that how am I trying to build my brand and how others could benefit from it. Or also I understand from others what are some of the good practices that they are bringing in for themselves that is actually helping them, kind of build a brand that they want to build for themselves, or if they have already succeeded at it. So sharing of some of these and doing some podcasts together. I don't know. I'm willing to collaborate and see what all we can do.
Looks like we're already leaning in.
Yeah, we are absolutely
The purpose of this entire session. Yeah.
Yeah, and to Shanti's point, I think I have always been thinking that that how can we have more conversations in the group? I think because we all are tied up in our own ways, but that shouldn't be a reason for not picking up critical conversations in the group. I mean, that is what the groups are for, right? I mean, where we can pick up similar kind of things that we are all going through and how we are kind of handling all of them.
Lovely.
Thank you so much, Veda. I'm still waiting for that one word that describes you the best.
I think somebody who is a lifelong learner and a hustler. I think I'm more of a hustler, always trying to understand what's happening. How can I put in my best effort, collaborate with others, I think more of a learner and a hustler.
Thank you so much. That says it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Vishaka,
Hey, yes. Hey, hello. First of all, I would like to thank you all of you. And I think I have overall, if talk about related to work, 7+ years of experience. Currently, I am working with Randstad as an account manager. It's more into the client facing role. And I am from Bangalore, currently residing in Bangalore. And if I talk about the one word that describes me, I would say learner. I'm very happy that here I am interacting with so senior folks, and there are a lot of scope for me to learn from them. And definitely, I'm looking forward to that. Yes, I'm very happy to join this group.
thank you so much, Vishaka. We too are looking forward to listening a lot from you and mutually learn from one another. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
We do have Pooja, Vaishnavi. Who would like to go next?
I can go next. I'm not turning on my camera because I have some network issues here, so I'm not able to hear if I turn on my camera. So I am Vaishnavi. I'm working as a content developer at Grow with Satori. It's been 8 months of an amazing journey, and yet looking forward to learn a lot from my co-workers, and I'm very happy to be on this platform. I have not missed even a single session of Leader in You, and I'm very proud of that. Because it's something that is very reflective. One word that describes me the best is reflective. I'm very reflective. I go back, I see where I went wrong, and then I try to correct it. So that's something. That's all about me. Thank you.
Lovely. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Thank you for attending all the sessions. Yes, definitely helps us gain better insights about ourselves and know more on how we could move forward. Shanti, we do know about you, but yes, for the benefit of so many others who are here.
Absolutely. So I have been an L&D professional for the last 27+ years. I founded Grow with Satori last year, and it's been a phenomenal journey. One word that describes one Surya took away from me, lifelong learner. I'm still into so many certifications and courses. The other one would be go-getter.
Wonderful. Go-getter. Yeah, you are one such person. I can vouch for that. We do have Pooja as well. Pooja, if you would like to quickly introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Pooja. I'm sorry I was a little late to the meeting. I'm working as a brand partner at Agarwal Estates in Bangalore. One word that describes me the most, I would say, is an ambivert, because I am very frank and very chirpy when it comes to being with my friends and people who I am frank with. But when I meet new people, I'm a bit silent, and it takes time for me to approach people and get together with them easily. So yeah.
No worries, Pooja. I hope you feel that comfort in this particular space and get to start opening up a lot amongst your own people and this particular group. Welcome to the group.
Thank you.
Thank you all once again for taking time out on a Saturday. I totally understand. Saturdays are one challenging day in our week. It's neither complete off nor a day where you could say I'm going to relax totally. We're somewhere in between, and we're trying to fit in all our to-do lists within this particular day. But thank you so much for taking time out, and I hope we have some meaningful conversations and discussions here. Let's move forward. What is a brand according to you? Let's start. We all know it, but just to understand what you think a brand means. What does it mean to you? Anyone, feel free to share, speak, interact. This is one group where we don't have one correct answer. We are more interested in understanding each other's perspectives and learning from one another, as I already said. So feel free to share your opinions and thoughts on the questions asked. What, according to you, is a brand?
personal branding may be the quality which we have in ourselves.
Right? The quality that each person is able to bring into the table. Agree? Any other interpretations? A brand, as we all know, it's a term, it's a symbol, it's a sign, something that distinguishes one product from another. Similarly, personal branding is how we are able to project ourselves and how are we able to position ourselves as an individual who's unique, who has certain qualities that stands out from the rest. It seems very easy, but yes, it's equally complicated because when somebody asks me about what my strengths are, I really have to think through a lot. Somebody asks me, how am I different from others? I take a lot of time to reflect and come up with an answer. So this particular session is going to help us build a brand statement. So personal branding is marketing ourselves as a brand. How are we able to bring in value, a unique perspective to the table? Our brand is our reputation, isn't it? That's how people relate to us. So when we say a brand, a regular product brand, it's all about what the product encompasses, how does it benefit the user, and what does it compose of. Similarly, when we talk about personal brand, it's about who are we as a person, what are our values, how do we stand for these values, and how do we in fact express them, because the same values could be expressed differently under different circumstances by different people. And what makes you special or unique? These are some of the questions that we should be able to answer while coming up with our own brand statements. In the last session, when we started exploring personal branding, we started with this particular XYZ of personal brand. So the first one is defining our X factor. It's nothing but understanding who am I as a person. Shanti facilitated this particular session. It was a wonderful session where we were able to list our strengths, skills, and traits, or rather we were able to identify them through a series of questions that did not ask any of these questions directly. So by understanding a lot of my interest in the past, and by understanding what I do right now and what I intend to do in the future, what people told me were something that I was good at, I was able to identify my strengths, skills, and traits. So that helped me understand who am I as a person, what personality I bring in to the table. So we did this activity last time. As most of you were not there in the last session, can we quickly come up with a brand statement that is based on your strengths, traits, and super skills? For instance, let me tell you what brand statement I was able to come up with after that particular exercise. It was something like this: a sincere communicator who critically analyzes her thoughts, organizes them, and expresses herself to connect with people. I tried to put in all the 8 things that I was able to identify in this particular brand statement. Of course, it need not be something similar, but how would you be able to come up with one brand statement that showcases your strengths, skills, and traits in a sentence? Yeah, you can just take a few seconds to reflect, probably note it down, and do share if you have it ready. What's your brand statement?
Can I go first? I had actually written it last time, so.
Lovely. Go ahead, Vaishnavi.
Yeah, so my brand statement would be, I am a person who's driven by my imagination and my hunger for learning, and known for my patience. With a keen ear and selfless approach, I aim to craft compelling content that leaves a lasting impression on everybody. It was a pleasure meeting you. It was like just the
Wow.
last part which I had written.
Nice,
It
interesting.
is still a little not complete, I feel, all over the place, but
That's
I'm
totally okay. That is why we are all here. It is going to evolve on a regular basis. It's not an answer that you can come up with in one sitting. We will have to reflect through this every few days or weeks or months to see how you can make it better. So yes, even my brand statement that I came up with last time, still work in progress. Probably today when I do this exercise along with you all, there would be some more insights that I might gain, and I might have to make a few changes. That's completely fine. For now, what do you think is your brand statement? Thank you for that share, Vaishnavi. Anybody else who could just tell in one sentence what your brand statement is? Let's give it a try. Anybody? Feel free to use the chat box in case you find it difficult to unmute and speak, or if you're unable to express it through words somehow, you can use the chat box as well. Anybody? I hope you're all still trying to come up with something that you think would reflect your personality in vocal. So I'm assuming that's why this silence. Do let me know if you've done. We'll move on to the next section.
Yeah, I think that it's something that we need to reflect on and think about all our skills, strengths, and then create a statement. But in a short while, I focused on just one strength or trait of mine. So I wrote that I'm an Aries woman whose love for adventure enables me to utilize my energy into learning something new every single day.
Interesting. You try to bring in your personality, your interests, and you try to tie it up to what you like doing. Thank you, Pooja. All right. So we'll move on to what we are going to do today. So we've already understood the X factor, which defines who we are as a person. We're going to delve more into the Y factor today. So Y factor is understanding why are you the person you are? The values that you have, the passion that drives your actions, and the purpose that stimulates you to move forward is actually something that defines your Y factor. So there are three things that will help you understand the reason behind your actions or the reason behind who you are as a person. Once we are able to understand this and align all our actions with our values, integrate our passion into our routine, and also see what is that big purpose that I want to achieve and choose our actions in that particular direction, it's going to become easier for us to decide on what to do and what not to do. So we are going to look at those factors today. As I already said, values, passions, purpose, and how am I going to make an impact using these? That's what we're going to see today. What are values? We'll start with the first one. What are values according to you? Anyone? Just feel free to share your definition of values. As I already said, there's no one single correct definition. We have multiple interpretations.
To me, values are ground rules that I have to live by, core to who I am.
Right.
Yeah, right. Something that is absolutely non-negotiable, no matter what the situation is.
Wonderful. Something that I cannot negotiate with, or I really cannot think of giving in or giving up for anything else, right? So they're basic fundamental principles or beliefs that guide our actions and behavior. And values are different to each one of us, probably because of our upbringing, because of the environment we grew in, because of what we thought are important to us. Values would change from person to person. They are nothing but a guiding compasses. They are our North Stars, which help us determine what is important to us in simple terms. What is most important to us, and how am I going to show up as a person? What am I going to do moving forward when there are choices? All this will depend on the values that I choose to live by. General guidelines or general code of conduct, again, for an individual. This might change from person to person, right? So while making a choice, especially, values do help us. But then it sounds so easy, as I already said. It isn't that easy, especially when you have a plethora of options like this. So if you see here, there are 49 values here. For a second, if you think through, yes, each value is important. But then, if asked to choose 5 top values, what would those 5 top values be? That's going to be challenging. I totally understand. But then sometimes we have to make tough choices. This is one among them. If you're not able to pick up 5 choices, just see if you can pick in maybe 10 or 11 and then rank them and pick only the top 5 at the end. That would make the entire exercise easier. So this is your first exercise to understand what are your top 5 values from the given list. Let's take a few minutes to quickly read through each of the values and pick the top 5 that resonate with us. I hope you're all noting it down somewhere.
I think everything here is so appealing.
Which is why I said that in the beginning. Very true. Even your icebreaker question would throw some light on what is more important to you. Some of you said dependable. Some of you said hustler, learner. So probably just see if those are very important to you, and those are the things that you will never be able to live without. So that would be one important value to you, along with the other values that you see here.
All right, I have a question, Vaishnavi, and just ignore it if it's a very silly question. But if you look at the term adventure, that's something that I think I've been longing to do ever since I was a child. And I have had my own adventures when I was in college and when I was not really married and did not have a child. Now that's something that I am not so much into, but given a chance, I think I would any day take it up.
Lovely.
So will that be a part of my, core value system? Should I add it or let it be there?
Have the thought with you. As I said, this may be one of your values, but then we also will be discussing on passions. I'm assuming this will be more to do with your passion, something that you always want to do to bring in that energy and enthusiasm in your life. But I wouldn't consider this as a value for now if you have not been living with it day in and out. That's my understanding again. But if you feel that's something I really think is a non-negotiable value, then yes, you can go forward, or have this in your mind. Probably when we discuss passions, you will automatically see this popping up again.
Okay.
Again, just a suggestion, do not look at what is ideal for you. Look at what you tend to stick to most of the time. This is something that I can never live without. This is something that I always follow and will want to follow. This is something that is very dear to me. Do let us know once done. We can move forward. And this will take some time, but yes. Shanti is done. Quick as always. Yeah, Vishaka is also done. Great. We'll wait for the others another minute and then we'll move forward. It looks like we'll move. Pooja is done as well. Thank you, Pooja. So I hope everybody is done. Shall we move forward? Fine. Now that you've picked up your values, the second step in the process is to define what each of these values mean to you. Why do we ask this particular question is, although the terms are the same, it might mean different things to different people. For example, one of the values that I might have chosen could be flexibility. Flexibility, according to me, could mean adapting according to the situation and fitting in there. Whereas for my friend, it was the last time when we did, it was trying to do different things to see what interests her, being flexible enough to pick up various projects. So the same word could mean different things to different people. See if you can define it the way you understand those terms. And once done, please feel free to share what you've written so that, if there are certain definitions that I find really interesting and really more meaningful, probably I would start trying to use that while interpreting that term going forward. So once done, feel free to share what you've written if you would like to. Any questions? All good? You would want to look at the values one more time in case you're still doing it. Here's a quick through the options. Anybody who's done would like to explain at least a couple of terms that you have noted down, the values, the definition that you would like to attribute to those values?
Yeah, Vaishnavi, I can go. So
Yes.
I have chosen first respect, the first point, which is very important for me, whether whoever I'm with, the respect is the most important thing. And second point I have chosen as
What do you
learning.
mean by respect here, Vishaka? How do you define respect?
Respect for like others views, I can say, or others point of view for anything, so I am open for that. And for me also, I would expect from others, they should also respect my point and view. They can guide, if because I have mentioned the second point is learner, so definitely I'm ready to listen to others. I believe I am a good listener also, so maybe that's why I'm learner. And suddenly what, then I got this link, I was just randomly asked, okay, definitely there will be something. I believe every day you have a chances of learning everywhere in everything, so I believe in learning also. And the point second, I think third one I have mentioned as peace. For peace, for me, like peace of mind, I would say is very important for me. Like when the multiple things are going on and I'm confused and all, then I would not be able to take the decision. So the peace of mind is very important for me. And fifth point is I have mentioned clarity. So clarity is the same, I think from the previous point, it is also we can relate. Clarity, I require, need the clarity. I sometimes find it difficult for myself when I am in a gray zone. Like the thing which is right for me, it should be right. If it is a wrong, it should be wrong. We cannot mix them up. So that these are the my points of view for these points.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that, Vishaka. I really like how you define clarity. There cannot be any gray areas for me. It has to be either this or that. Otherwise, I'm not going to move forward. Nice. Anyone who actually noted down any one of these values but had a different interpretation to the term? For instance, Vishaka said peace. So for her, it was more to do with peace of mind, internal peace. But for others, it could be, peace around you. I want the environment that I am in to be very peaceful. I cannot live in a very chaotic place. I cannot really work with people where there's a lot of shouting and screaming. That could also be another interpretation that we could attribute to this term. Anybody else who would like to share what you had noted down for us to learn from?
I think out of the 5, I was able to define only 3 for now. I'll share those 3. The first one that I said was dependable, something that I mentioned as a word that will describe me as well. So being relied upon or, trusted for closure, that is what I've written means. So I know that I'm an individual. If you give me a task or if there's anything that you sort of tell me, then I can assure you that you can forget about it, that it'll be done. Similarly, that's one thing that has caused me a lot of pain as well, because I've expected the same from people around me as well, without any follow-ups and all of that. At workplace, I have this, unconscious expectation of people in my team that if it's done, I don't really have to go back and check on it. It should be closed. So I think being relied upon for a closure is what I mean dependable for me is. The second thing is respect. And when I talk about respect, I believe that it is treating individual and things with courtesy and valuing their opinions, beliefs, and boundaries as well. That's respect. I mean, it's not just saying good morning and good night at night. That's not respect, but you're able to value their opinions and boundaries as well. That's respect. I mean, if there are disagreements on the professional front or personal front, then that's how you show respect, that you just with courtesy. You don't really have to bulldoze your opinion or something, but that's a way of respect for me. The third one that I've defined here is loyalty, where you give an unwavering support and trust to either a cause, a person or relationship, or an organization as well. So if you're in it, you're there 100%. Otherwise, just walk out. That's loyalty for me.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Akansha. I really like the interpretation of respect. It's not just about courtesy and listening to their views. So according to you, it's also respecting their boundaries,
right,
and giving them that space. Nice. Thank you. I'll include that in my definition of respect as well. Lovely. So I hope you all are still thinking through a few of those definitions. Let's move forward. The third step in the process is to check where are you in your alignment with the values that you have listed down. We know there are 5 top values. We know what they mean. How well are we aligned with that value? So by alignment, we mean, are we consistently living those values day in and out? If yes, then you get a full 5 on 5. If not, where are you? Please note it down. Are we in alignment with our values? Rated on a scale 0 to 5, where 0 means not aligned at all, 5 means fully aligned, living it every day? Done? I don't think this would take much time. So most of you must have done by now. So now that you know where are you in terms of your alignment with your values, pick up that value where you are least aligned with and ask yourself these questions. Why do you think you're not able to align to your values? What is stopping you from being true to yourself? And how can you follow your values wholeheartedly? Probably there might be more than one values that have the same rating, and you feel that I might have to start working on these 2 or 3 values where I don't seem to be living it fully. So start picking one at a time and find out what are you going to do to align yourself with that value. For example, for me, I'd written family as one of my values. So that is one among the least alignment for now. Probably I'm not spending enough time with them. I somehow don't think that I'm doing 100% justice by being fully there for them, even on a weekend. So I was thinking through this. Then I thought 2 things that I'd started doing when I did this exercise a couple of weeks ago. The same family was that value that was not fully aligned with. So I decided to go and share the bed with my daughter 1 day a week, probably a Saturday or Sunday. I'm going to sleep along with her. We are going to have just me and her. We are going to talk. We are going to, have some mom-daughter conversations, and then we are going to sleep. Otherwise, that doesn't seem to be happening. So I've decided that I'm going to do this 1 day a week. So I've been doing it for the last 2 weeks. So today, again, there was another situation where I had to go out. Looks like everybody has a plan of their own. So I thought, why don't we all go together, then spend some time? Of course, interests vary, but one day can we all try and see if we can align with the other person's interest? Then maybe the next day we will see how we can do it for, somebody else's interest. Can we all do that? Can we all be there for each other? So yes, I have succeeded in persuading my family members to come along with me today. So yeah, something of that sort. Pick up one value. It could be anything. What would you like to do to help you align yourself with that particular value? Again, if you would like to share, feel free to share. If not, no issues. Just keep that in your mind. Shall we move on? I'm at least assuming you by now know which value to work on. Probably you can think through a little later and find out how are you going to work on aligning yourself with that particular value. We'll move to the next one, which is passion. What do you mean by your passion? What is passion according to you? Yes. What passion means to you? Something that we all are very interested to, a strong desire, a strong liking, isn't it? It's something that energizes us, something that gives us that happiness once we do it, despite being
something that, yeah, absolutely, something that we don't mind doing on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Exactly. Although it's
and we don't need that external push.
Wonderful. You said it, Shweta. You don't need that external push. You're able to do it yourself, even though you'll have to pick yourself up from a bed. You'll have to get yourself a quick shower, sit in front of your laptop because you're passionate about it. Great, you said it. So that's
strongly comes up in my brand statement. What I've written down for myself, the term passion is part of it.
Wow, lovely. You already have it in Shanti. Yes. So are you excited to do something? And if so, what exactly is it? So in short, what makes you come alive? People generally say if your passion becomes your profession, then you don't have to work even a single day, right? So are we able to integrate our passions is what we are going to see. For that, we first need to discover what our passions are. There might be various things, interests, hobbies, passions. We tend to use all these terms interchangeably, although passions are slightly different. So to understand what passions are, Here are a few questions. The first one is, what would I want to do or pursue if money weren't an issue? Sometimes you wanted to do a few things but had been postponing. I'm again reminded of what Shweta was telling, because of certain reasons. And if that reason was to do with money, then what was that one thing that I would like to do or pursue if that wasn't a constraint? Travel. Yes, yes. I'm again able to see Vaishnavi's response and related back to Akanksha's question. Travel. Yeah, who wouldn't like to go around the globe and just have fun exploring places, food, cultures, right? Yeah, just note it down. What are my favorite leisure time activities? So when there's nothing to do, I'm free and I'm open, or I do not have any to-do list on my agenda, what would I want to do? Which extracurricular activity have I been praised for? People have told, wow, you're really good at this. Seem to have a knack for doing this. Great when it comes to this particular activity or skill. What is it? Out of your work again. Yes, Shweta, you wanted to ask something or say something?
So is this something that we'll have to write it in one place, all of these?
Yeah. Only then, that's why I said if you can have a notepad or something, that would be nice, so that you'll be able to connect and then find out and identify what exactly are you passionate about. You just have to note down. You can share it after we complete this particular exercise. What did I enjoy doing in middle school? Something that I always loved doing. I might be continuing to do it now. I might not be continuing to do it now. That's fine. But what was it, that one thing that I enjoyed during school? The last question, what volunteer activity do I find compelling? So whenever people ask for any volunteers for this activity, I've always wanted to. Probably I did go a few times. I didn't go for a few times because of other commitments, but this is one activity that I always like volunteering for. What is it? So now that we've completed this exercise, time to ask yourself these two questions. The first one, was there a connection across responses? Now feel free to share if you have seen a connection across your answers. If you have, please share. Did you find similar answers to a few questions, or did you see similar interest popping up a couple of times? Yes, anybody? For me, it was two things. One was dance, and the second was hosting events. Yeah, so I've always been that one person who volunteered to go for events and even take up the opportunity where I could be the MC. And second one was dance. The moment there's dance, I enjoy doing it, and I've always also been nominated by others. So yes, there seems to be a connection across my responses for these two activities. Yes, Shanti, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, so I've done this a couple of times, but this time what is emerging, I'm going to share that. If money weren't an issue, then I'll definitely coach and train for free, and that gives me the satisfaction. My leisure time activities are reading and observing nature, so that reading and learning bit is building up. So I'm just going to call out what is common. Extracurricular activities were speaking, elocutions, debates. Middle school was again speeches. volunteer activities, anything that has to do with people, teamwork, where multiple people are working together. I think I enjoy that. In any kind of CSR activity, I always put up my hand and say, yeah, I'm going to do it. I think the common theme is being able to share and learn in a group. I think that seems to be a common theme.
Wonderful. People-oriented activity where you are able to share and learn at the same time. Great.
Surya is asking you to go back to the
Yeah,
previous.
I've done that. I hope you're able to see it now, Surya. The question slide. This is the one, right? Yeah. So anybody who's able to see a connection, or even if there's not a connection, what is that activity that you seem to be able to get as an answer for some of these questions?
I would say that there's no connection, like not the least connection as of now. But just like you mentioned, dance is something that I like enjoy doing. It's my passion. It's something that I've been praised for. And also the second one would be managing an event or planning for an event. So these are two things that I really love doing. That if you tell me, like if you wake me up at 3 a.m. and tell me to do it, I'll do it. It makes me high. It makes me happy. But none of these relate to the career goals that I have right now. Because I might be passionate about something, but then it does not mean that I am very good at it or I am an expert at it. So,
Pooja,
yeah.
you actually think that these are not related to your career goals, these are not related to what you do, but then over a period of time, you will slowly start understanding how some of these skills are helping you in your career and how can you integrate them slowly. Probably not now, but then you will be able to see certain connections and patterns as you go forward. Yeah, but it's important for you to document and keep this handy. Tomorrow, when you read through it, you will see how some of these skills, like you said, planning for an event, planning for something. I hope you're doing it some way or the other at your workplace. It's just that you're not able to connect it this particular enjoyable activity for now. But give it a thought, you will be able to see connections there. So yes, what was that connection? If you can, there are no connections, that's absolutely fine. Second one is, am I connecting my passions with my career goals? Now, this is one question that people generally ask. Are you able to integrate it with your career goals? Like Pooja said, not every passion can be integrated with our career goal, but there are things that can be integrated. If you can, great. For example, when you say travel and your work involves a lot of traveling where you have to go to different places, wonderful. And if speaking and meeting people is your passion and your work again involves these two, lovely. But then not every passion can be integrated. If you cannot, then that's still okay. All we need to do is find time to ensure that we somehow engage in these activities at least once in a while. For example, for some, it could be running. That energizes me. I have been a sports person, I've been an athlete, I love running, but I know I cannot integrate that with my work. Probably I can integrate it with my life. Maybe I can take out some time every Saturday or Sunday and see if I can go for a quick jog or a run, and make sure every week I spend at least half an hour on this. So how are you able to integrate it with your routine life is something you will have to figure out for yourself. Yes. Let's move on to the next component, which is purpose. What do you mean by purpose here? It's that one ultimate goal that you would like to achieve down the line. That's your big picture, the internal vision of what you want to be in the future. Of course, there are multiple things that would be in your mind, but if you can see how, with your values, with your passion, with your purpose, if you're able to act by integrating this, you will have a clear roadmap on where you want to go and which path to take. Let's quickly do an activity here. If you don't mind, if you all could close your eyes for the next few seconds and just follow my instructions and visualize what I'm telling the way you deem is correct. Yeah, a few seconds. Let's quickly close our eyes and visualize ourselves. It is year 2033, 10 years from now. You have transformed, you have changed, of course, in a very good way, become the person that you want to be, at least a lot closer to that ideal person that you want to be. You have achieved a lot in your career. You had a lot of to-do lists, and you, in fact, ticked almost 50 to 60% of them. You have been invited for your school reunion. You're there. You're wearing one of your best dresses that you always wanted to wear for an event where you are going to be a celebrity, your favorite color. And you see all your friends. Everyone has changed, all for good though. They've all become different version or the best versions of themselves. When you meet them, when they ask you, how is your life? What are you doing right now? You're proudly able to tell them what you are doing now. What have you been doing all this while? You're explaining your work to them. You're telling them what you intend to do in the future as well. You have some happy smiles. You're trying to catch up on all the missed conversations and fun. And then you all quickly pose for a group picture. And then you say goodbye. As you return back, reflecting on how you were as a person and how long have you come to where you are today. All those difficulties, all those challenges, all those hard work seem to have paid off in some way. You're glad and energized for the next set of challenges that come your way, and you're all set to take it by the bulls. You can open your eyes now. Now, is there anyone who would like to share what you visualized? You can use these words, I am, I was, rather than saying, I am this person, I have been doing this, I enjoyed this. These are the terms that you might have used when you met your friends in that particular visualization exercise. So when your friends asked you, what are you doing? What exactly did you say? Anybody who would like to share? What did you tell them about yourself? Just one or two aspects of it will also be sufficient.
I think I did tell them that I am a coach and I help leaders be better versions of themselves. And I was moving towards starting to explain the impact, and then we to come back. Yeah, so that is where I was.
Lovely.
Back of my mind, I was also thinking of money, which I did not share in the visualization.
Wonderful. So you have noted this down somewhere. Yes. Shweta, you would like to say something?
Yeah, I visualize that I am working in different geographies. I have, after working in different geographies, I have, understood um, some of the ways for employee well-being, and I'm working towards the employee well-being, not just in my organization, but I think I'm taking it to the wider community as well, where the organizations are taking steps, all of us together for being a more employee-centric organization.
Wonderful. So you have that purpose in your mind where you would like to bring in this concept of employee being, not just within your organization, but globally you would like to take it forward and also learn from various best practices. See, that's in your mind and you're able to think through this as you visualize. Lovely. Thank you, Shweta. Any other visualizations that you would like to share?
Yeah, so I focused on two aspects. First, I told them that I'm in a perfect physical and mental health. So that was something internal. And about my career as such, I didn't have a specific word to define it, but then I said that I'm doing like something that I really love, and that involves a lot of traveling and a lot of engaging in a lot of luxuries.
Right. So you know what you want now then. Yes. Thank you, Pooja, for bringing that health aspect also. I know it's there deep down our minds, our hearts, but seldom do we say that as something that we want in our lives, right? We always take that for granted. So thank you for even being able to share this by saying, yes, I'm at the pink of my health. Thank you. So anything that you said at that point in time is your purpose in life. That is what you ideally want to do. What has been important to you? Who is on this journey with you? If you actually visualize someone else along with you, great. That's that one person who's very important to you. Also, while I asked you to talk to your friend, is there a specific friend in mind? And in case you have not reached out to that friend for a very long time to quickly send a message or call that person, because that person means a lot to you. That person understands you the best, or probably you want to let the person know that you're doing really well, right? So just see who's that person that you saw in your visualization journey. What are you doing that fuels your passion? Like Pooja said, it could be traveling, it could be living a life which is very comfortable, or it could be like Shweta saying, going to different geographies to understand the best practices and bringing them and implementing them at the global level. Or like what Shanti said, it could be helping people become a better version of themselves. It could be anything. That's your passion. What are you working towards or have accomplished that gives you a sense of purpose? Some of you must have also said that I've already achieved this, I've done this. So just reflect on those achievements that you explained it or that you shared with your friend. If you have not yet started working on that, high time you started doing something about it. Where are you headed next? What do you intend to do? Just think about it again. If you have not started working on that direction, again, you will have to start looking at how you could make that beginning towards that particular journey that you want to take. Yeah. So just reflect on these questions. And also, if you can just quickly see whether any values that you mentioned, like Pooja said, health. So she did explain about health while talking to her friend, which means that's one of her important values. Some of you even mentioned travel. That means that's also a value that you have. Could be a passion. If there was a purpose, just think about it. What was that purpose that you wanted to achieve in the near future? In your visualization, see you were able to pick up these. If not, think through and see what are those values that I would love to live by 10 years down the line. What are those passions that I would like to be pursuing then? And what is that ultimate purpose that I am working to reach? Are we good so far? Great.
Yeah.
Finally, we move on to the last aspect of building your brand to make an impact. How can you do that? Oprah Winfrey says that if you want to move forward, you have to give back. Only then you can move forward. So the more higher you reach, the more you are expected to give back to your society in some way or the other, which is why you will see all these leaders, after they reach a particular position, they start feeling that vacuum. They start feeling that I need to do something more. And they involve themselves in philanthropic activities, because that's where you find that you are making an impact on the people around you. It's not just about yourself. So if you want to really feel happy doing what you are doing, in the long run, it has to impact the society. It has to impact others. It has to be beneficial to those who are not your dependents directly. What is it that you will do to give back to the society? Giving back, it's just an outward expression of your values, purpose, and opportunity to demonstrate your skills. This is what the definition says. How can you give back to the society? Most often we think it is about monetary rewards or trying to help people in terms of financial aids. Not necessarily. That's definitely an important way in which we can reach out to those who are in need. But then there are also other ways in which you can give back. And how can you do it? Maybe use your strength. Maybe your passion. Can you see how can you showcase your passion and help people through it? Your skill, how can that benefit others? How can you align yourself with the values so that it is helping people at large? Just think through and see what can you do to give back to the society in some way or the other. You can use your strengths, your skills, your values, anything. You should do something to give back to the society. If you have anything in mind, you can always share it with us. If you're already doing, great.
I think sometimes giving back could also be by building some more strengths in others. So, for example, helping them identify their strengths and helping them, or making a platform for them where they can kind of realize their potential. So
I think you're using
one of the
your
things that
skill
mentoring.
Identify their strengths. Very true.
Yeah. So sometimes I think I'm able to, if I'm able to pay it forward by mentoring others and help them find their strengths, help them find their ground. That ways it gives me a lot of satisfaction that I have been able to pay forward some of the learnings that I have had myself. And when I was looking for it desperately, when I was young and I was trying to make a place for myself and foothold for myself in the industry, in the organization, I was also looking up to someone for some help. And if I have gotten that, if I can be that person for somebody else, I think that gives me a lot of satisfaction by paying it forward.
Wonderful. Trying to help others find their ground. Very nice, Shweta. Yes, I think Chance also mentioned that when she said, when she tried answering the question, if money was not an issue, what would I like doing? Probably I'll coach more people and I'll probably help more people become a better version of themselves. Yeah, that's also one way of giving back what you have.
Yeah.
Lovely. Anything else? Could be anything like what Shweta said, or any of your skills.
Helping the underprivileged and giving back to the society. Those who are suffering from cancer. I think that's something that I feel passionately about.
Okay.
And going ahead and helping them. So I do that once in a while. But
thank you so much.
But yeah, that is one of the ways.
Super. So if
I think
yes, Akash.
Sorry, Vaishnavi. I think sponsoring and education is something that I've seen my father do since I was a child. And despite having 3 kids, he always made sure that if he was able to, he would sponsor education of maybe 1 or 2 children more annually. And to see the parents of those children come and share their happiness with my father gave me a lot of thing right when I was a child that I should also do this whenever I am able to. So me and my sister, I think that's something that we do without it's a no-negotiable again for us, despite having kids, despite having other financial responsibilities and all of that. So I don't know. I think that's again one of the things.
Yeah, I think that's strongly ingrained in us that once a person is educated, then they're going to, it's like rather than giving a person a fish, teach him fishing, right? That will be more beneficial for us. Probably this thought has been so strongly ingrained in us that when we help someone in their education pursuits, we're going to help them financially for the rest of their lives. They'll be able to stand on their own legs and also support their families in future. So that's one of the best ways in which we could provide support. Lovely. Thank you, Akaksha. Also look through how your skills, your strengths, your traits can be beneficial to someone else. Yeah. So now come to the last part of it. Now tell us, what's your brand? Is there anything you would like to modify, include, or change in your brand statement where you try to bring in these values, passion, purpose, and the impact that you would like to create on others? How would you like to incorporate these elements into your brand in your brand statement? If it's already there, great. If not, which particular value, passion, purpose, impact would you like to incorporate? Just give it a thought and see if you can refine it, and then we'll discuss. Yeah, anybody would like to share what you had written down? Or is there any way in which you're going to modify your brand statement if you had one already?
I'm ready if
Yes, Shanti.
so. The original one was developing and growing people is my passion, and I'm fortunate to live my passion day in and day out through coaching, mentor coaching, and facilitation. That was my original one, and I'm loving what I have come up with. Developing and growing people is my passion. I'm fortunate to live my passion by enabling people realize their true potential and supporting them translate their potential into meaningful work and relationships that support building high-performing teams and organizations. So I know it has to go through iterations, but I'm feeling very good about it at the moment.
Wow, so probably the second version has more on what's in it for them. Yeah, how is it benefiting them? And that's definitely a very important thing while we try to communicate what we do. Lovely. Anybody else? I'm still working on mine as well. Just seeing which one do I have to, modify and which specific value do I want to mention there. I know it's going to take some time, but then I've decided to bring in that excellence aspect somewhere because that was one of the values that I had written down. I would like to always do the best possible in all that I do. Probably if I could somehow integrate that in my brand statement, that would be better is what I feel. Let me see how I can do it. So with this, we come to the end of today's session. We started by understanding what a brand is, what personal branding means. And as we already saw, there are 3 aspects that we intend to discuss in our Leader in You lead-in sessions. The first one was on the X factor, understanding who am I. The second one is what we did today, understanding the why factor. Why am I the person I am? Through our values, passions, and purpose. The third one is on eliminating the Z factor. We'll discuss more about it in the next session. So I'd like to listen to a few feedback from participants. Is there anything that you would like to share? What is that one takeaway that you would like to leave with after this session? How did you find the session? At the same time, if there's any suggestion, feel free to share it with us. That will help us make it more impactful for all. Everyone, come on. We'd like to hear your experience. Yes, Vishaka.
I would say the point you mentioned, the values, how can you relate to your work also? As of now, we don't have the clarity, the values, how we can interrelate to our work. So that is a point which I will try to explore more and try to interrelate also.
Lovely. Values with work. We always think that personal life and values go well together, with professional life, we'd always kept it separate.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll be able to be authentic and we'll be able to live it day in and out only when we integrate it with everything that we do. Great. Thank you, Vishaka. Anybody else?
I want to say that I really enjoyed the session, especially because there were certain values or certain aspects which which are important to me, but then was somehow forgotten in my day-to-day life. And this was kind of like a wake-up alarm for me to, focus on what am I doing with my life and how I can incorporate those aspects in my life in future.
Thank you, Pooja. Glad to know that this was in some way beneficial and helpful to realign with your values and what you do. Thank you. Others, anybody? Akanksha, Shweta, Deepa, we missed interacting. I guess you joined a little late. So is there anything that you would like to share?
I think the brand statement or the purpose or vision, whatever I had for myself, was very simple. It said, or I always had it in mind, that it is adding value to lives of individuals that I meet. It's as simple as that. But how is it that I'm going to do that is something that I'm going to sit and think about now, because that statement is very generic, very basic, but I think I'll have to narrow it down to very specifically how is it that I'm going to use my skills to do that. So that's one takeaway that I have, and I've written down, I think, about 4 pages. So I'm going to review this again, and I'll continue revisiting these exercises.
Brilliant, Akanksha. Normally we take pride in our brand statement, but we miss the fact that a brand statement is for others to understand who we are, what we stand for.
Right.
It may make a lot of meaning to us, but if it does not make a lot of meaning to the other who is hearing, then our brand statement has failed to serve its purpose. So glad you are actually deciding to add more detail. All the best.
Because adding value to an individual could be anything, right? I mean,
The how part, the how aspect is something you want to think. Wonderful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Akanksha. Deepa, I just read your message on chat. Nice session. Thank you, Deepa. Shweta, anything else you would like to say before we wrap up? All right, looks like Shweta is busy. So thank you so much. Thank you once again for taking time out on a Saturday morning and being here. We hope to meeting you all virtually more often during our lead-in sessions. As you already know, these sessions happen once a month. So yes, the PPT, we'll share the recording, Deepa. It will be shared, so you can access all this information from the recording. All right, so we'll be meeting once a month. We'll again try to understand the most preferred timing and day of the week. If this day and timing works, we'll go ahead. If not, let's see which would be the ideal time most of us to come meet and share all of this. Thank you so much. See you all in another session. And thank you so much, Shanti, for this opportunity to facilitate this wonderful session and helping me learn a lot through interactions as well. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you so
Everybody.
much.
Thank you.
Surya, we just wrapped.
Yeah.
Something happened, you came back.
Sorry. I got disconnected instead of, being able to speak. I was trying to unmute myself and it just got disconnected. But yes, I want to just share that, it was a wonderful session. Do I have something absolutely concrete? No, I think it's work in progress that I have in terms of my brand statement, but at least I have started to think on the lines, and I saw some glimpses of Ikigai as well, which I loved a lot in your session and the content as well. So I think it's a great start, and I do want to kind of take this as the starting point to be able to go back to my blackboard and see what else I would like to add to it.
Thank you, Shweta. Thank you. Looking forward to meeting you in our sessions more frequently.
Sure. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.